Are the Cleveland Browns cursed? How many years have we been saying this for? Well, we're still saying it.
One person that understands business, and he will trade his quarterback for Sanders. Dallas is where Sanders is gonna be.
The Cleveland Browns are officially in meltdown mode, and honestly, it's hilarious. Reports say Shedeur Sanders just got slapped with a jaw-dropping $90 million offer to leave, and now the Browns are sweating harder than a referee in overtime. Imagine investing everything into your shiny new star, only to find out someone else is dangling Monopoly money times 10 in his face. The front office is panicking, fans are biting their nails, and Shedeur? He's probably practicing his money dance already.
This decision by Shedeur Sanders just made him millions of dollars. Let's talk.
Look, I know we like the young brother Shedeur, but it's time to just stop caring about Cleveland again. Nobody care about Cleveland Browns anyway. Why would they list him as inactive? They don't want that boy on their team. In the NFL, they want the money, but they don't want him around either.
If you're enjoying, please subscribe Shedeur Sanders to the channel. It helps more than you think. The NFL just turned into a billionaire soap opera, and at the center of this meltdown is Shedeur Sanders, the Browns' supposed golden ticket, suddenly dangling in front of rival teams like a filet mignon tossed into a shark tank. Somebody just threw down a $90 million offer for him, and this isn't your usual "here's some money, please join us." No, this is full-scale, franchise-altering, bloodthirsty warfare. They're offering him $65 million guaranteed, plus endorsement deals so rich they'd make Michael Jordan blush, plus control of the offense, the ability to handpick coaches, and probably the rights to rename the stadium Shedeur's House of Pain. Imagine being the Browns, watching your supposed resurrection artist get courted like the NFL's Beyoncé, and realizing you're seconds away from losing everything.
Shedeur Sanders, he is the face of the non-starting quarterback in the NFL. He is that boy. He is that man. And with a lot, we're in week 2 of the NFL season.
Meanwhile, Jimmy Haslam, the Browns owner, is reacting like someone just told him the IRS is auditing every dollar he's ever spent on failed quarterbacks. Sources say Volcanic doesn't even begin to cover it. He's calling emergency meetings like it's the Cuban Missile Crisis. Phones buzzing. Suits pacing. Everyone sweating bullets. The vibe inside Cleveland's front office? Imagine rats scrambling on a sinking ship, but the rats are in $5,000 suits and still can't figure out how to patch a hole.
I'll be honest about Shedeur. I think the plan is to destroy his stock. Not drafting him would have been too direct. Draft him to a crowded QB squad. Don't give him any reps, make up a reason to not start him, keep him on the bench, or cut him. The last thing teams want is for him to shine and make them look stupid for passing on him. The Browns owner clearly separated himself so that he wouldn't be on the wrong side of the blackball.
And how did we even get here? Easy. One man, Kevin Stefanski, the genius who looked at Shedeur Sanders lighting up defenses with a 70% completion rate, and said, "Nah, let's stick with Dylan Gabriel, because nothing screams winning football like watching your offense stall harder than a rusty car on an icy hill." The Ravens game was the climax. National television. Big stage. Browns' offense collapses like a cheap lawn chair, while Shedeur is on the sideline doing cardio in his warm-ups. Baltimore defenders were literally laughing. Ravens coaches were mocking. Former players were tweeting disbelief. Even the Waterboys probably thought about defecting mid-game. And yet, Stefanski clung to Gabriel like a toddler with a blanket, insisting his system mattered more than actual production.
Train him. Get him ready. Just don't stick him out there. We're talking about fair training. You done had 3 teams. So y'all ain't know this come from the inside. Somebody on the inside is sick of the Browns they sell. 3 teams asked for Shedeur. They want to train him. They want to start him. You know what the Browns did? Nope.
Naturally, Sanders wasn't having it. He storms into Stefanski's office demanding answers, and the conversation supposedly gets heated fast. Stefanski defends his system, Sanders points out the scoreboard, and before you know it, Shedeur is walking out of the facility without saying a word to teammates. The message was clear: the Browns' so-called franchise savior just reached his breaking point, and rival executives smelled blood in the water.
Till you get a quarterback, this is what you're going to be resigned to. I can just imagine how Cleveland receivers feeling. It's tough to continuously run routes, try to get open, and you're like. And I feel bad for the Browns fans, because the one thing I know, having played in Cleveland, no matter how bad they suck, those fans still came and sold out. Now, a lot of times they might have had bags on their head and they might have booed when things weren't going well, but they out there tailgating, knowing that their team gonna get the brakes beat off.
Inside the locker room, the fallout was instant. Offensive linemen who've been risking CTE protecting this guy are fuming at the thought he might leave. Receivers who've been cashing in on his precision passes are panicking about their stats plummeting back to irrelevance. Defensive players, who already spend Sundays cleaning up the mess from a laughably predictable offense, are ready to throw helmets at walls. One veteran apparently said if Shedeur leaves, they might as well bulldoze the stadium and build a parking lot. Unity? Gone. Morale? Dead. This locker room is a reality show now, and the season's plot twist is which side are you on?
Yo, look, I'm sick and tired of seeing how the Cleveland Browns and the NFL is treating Shedeur Sanders. This right here got me hotter than fish grease. This got me hotter than Texas on an August noon when it's 111 degrees. This right here is bull dookie. I'm trying to not to curse. I'm trying to stay kid friendly. But this is crazy. Bro not even running practice squad. They say he not even practicing.
But it's not just the players revolting. The fans have fully lost it. Social media is on fire, with hashtags about Shedeur trending worldwide. Petitions are circulating faster than Girl Scout cookie forms, demanding Stefanski's firing. Over 100,000 people signed one overnight, because Browns fans would rather risk frostbite at First Energy Stadium than another minute of Gabriel starting. Season ticket holders are threatening cancellations like it's a political protest. The meltdown isn't just on the field, it's now an economic disaster, and that's the one thing owners hate more than losing football games. And oh, the money. Let's not forget the money. Shedeur Sanders isn't just a quarterback, he's an ATM with cleats. Since he showed up, jersey sales shattered franchise records. Ticket renewals skyrocketed. Cleveland, once the NFL's forgotten middle child, suddenly became must-watch television. You couldn't escape Sanders' highlights if you tried. Losing him? Meanwhile, the team that signs him will instantly turn into the NFL's version of Apple stock. That $90 million deal isn't expensive, it's an investment in printing money.
This is what I want to tell y'all. The Browns think we are dumb. I mean, they think we super dumb. I have a problem. If you don't want something, let Shedeur go. If you don't want him on your team, if you're not planning on starting him, let him go. If you're not planning on treating him right, let him go. But don't get us wrong. We want Shedeur to be treated just like the rest of them.
So who's circling like vultures? Oh, take your pick. The Cowboys are drooling because Jerry Jones hasn't seen a shiny new toy this tempting since he bought a yacht with a helicopter pad. The Dolphins are eyeing him, because apparently winning with Tua isn't flashy enough. The Raiders? Well, Vegas needs a star, and who better than Shedeur to be the new face of Sin City? And the Jets, because the Jets are forever chasing relevance like a dog chasing cars, and Sanders is the one car they might actually catch. Multiple franchises are reportedly in a bidding war, and with every new rumor, the price tag climbs higher. This isn't recruitment, this is a hostage auction. Meanwhile, Shedeur himself has gone quiet. Social media dark. No. Training clips. No promotional appearances. Nothing. For a guy usually posting and engaging constantly, silence speaks volumes. Those close to him say he's deep in contemplation, weighing whether to stick with Cleveland's dysfunction or accept the royal treatment somewhere else. And just to spice things up, veteran quarterbacks are reportedly calling him, saying, "Don't waste your prime years waiting for this clown show to figure it out." When Super Bowl winners tell you to pack your bags, you listen.
The Baltimore Ravens, were planning to select Shedeur Sanders in the 5th round with the 141st overall selection. But when he found out, he got word back to the Ravens that he preferred not to go to a place where he would be competing and backing up Lamar Jackson. He wanted to be in a place that he could play. And so when the Ravens got that message, they pivoted, went a different direction with the 141st overall selection. And 3 picks later, the Cleveland Browns selected Shedeur Sanders, who will be in Baltimore today, where he could have been spending his NFL career if he were willing to back up Lamar Jackson.
Back in Cleveland, Stefanski's seat is hotter than a sidewalk in Arizona. Assistant coaches are distancing themselves, muttering under their breath about his stubbornness. Coordinators are polishing their resumes, waiting for the inevitable purge. Everyone knows if Sanders leaves, the coaching staff is gone. Around the league, free agents are watching the circus and thinking, nope, not signing there. Draft prospects are praying they don't get picked by the Browns. Once you become known as the team that chased away generational talent, you're not a franchise, you're a cautionary tale. Which brings us to the showdown. The ultimatum has been delivered. Stefanski goes, or Sanders goes. Non-negotiable. Haslam is stuck between firing his coach mid-season, which creates chaos, or letting his superstar walk, which creates catastrophe. Pick your poison. Choose right, and maybe he's remembered as the guy who finally got it. Choose wrong, and he's remembered as the guy who fumbled away the one good thing Cleveland ever had.
Literally just got him there as a mascot at this point, because they know that people are buying jerseys. He's literally like he's in the top 5 of #1 selling jerseys in the league, and he can't even get any practice. Yo, listen, we need to start a hashtag right now called Free Shedeur. Hashtag Free Shedeur. This has gotten out of control. The way they treating the Sanders boys, this is horrible.
Let's be real here. Sanders holds all the cards. The $90 million offer is more than money, it's respect. It's validation. It's everything Cleveland never gave him. The Browns can technically match the financials, but they can't match organizational stability. Money means nothing if your head coach insists on sabotaging you. And Sanders has already learned that lesson the hard way this season. The league is watching closely, because this saga isn't just about Cleveland. It's about power. It's about whether players can force change when organizations fail them. Other stars are paying attention. If not, then the Browns lose Sanders, lose the locker room, lose the fan base, lose sponsors, lose relevance, and tumble back into the abyss of NFL irrelevance they've lived in for decades. The ultimatum is plain, it's him or me. Haslam must choose between the stubborn coach who can't tell the difference between a Ferrari and a lawnmower, or the quarterback who just saved his franchise financially, culturally, and competitively. One path is vision, one is failure. There's no middle ground left.
See, the Browns fear if they let him go or put him on the practice squad and somebody picks him up, he's going to come back to bite him in the butt, man. But this is asinine what they're doing to Shedeur Sanders, man. This is terrible. They're not even giving him an opportunity to run the scout team. They got Bailey Zappi. Do y'all hear what I'm saying? Bailey Zappi running the scout team. He's getting more reps than Shedeur Sanders, and you drafted Shedeur Sanders. Make it make sense, man.
And then there's the funniest part of the Browns' panic, pretending they had a long-term vision for Shedeur Sanders all along. Oh please. This is the same team that drafts quarterbacks like kids collecting Pokemon cards, hoping maybe this one has a holographic finish. First round, second round, undrafted free agent, doesn't matter. If you can throw a ball and breathe at the same time, you'll probably end up in Cleveland's quarterback carousel at some point. Translation, please don't leave us, we'll even let you park in the owner's spot. Meanwhile, Shedeur is probably chilling with shades on, sipping something expensive, scrolling through his phone like, 90 million? That's cute. What's Dallas offering? What's Miami saying? Who's throwing in the private jet? Because let's be honest, the NFL is a business first, loyalty second. And Shedeur Sanders knows his name sells tickets, jerseys, and ESPN segments. Cleveland, on the other hand, sells sadness, tailgates, and lifelong disappointment.
Now fast forward recently to Shedeur Sanders, Deion Sanders' son, goes viral, but not for football, but for how he structured his contract. He had an equity clause in his deal with Gatorade. That clause basically said, I'm not just here as a name or a body, I want part of what's being built off of me. I want ownership in the outcome. So that clause essentially just preserved his interest. And he didn't walk away with just a one-time check. He walked away with his corrected status in the contract, and he claimed his equity.
It's also hilarious that the Browns keep acting like this is some betrayal. Betrayal? Cleveland, you're the expert on betrayal. You left your own fans in the dust in the 90s when the whole team skipped town to Baltimore. You turned Baker Mayfield into a king one year and a peasant the next. You gave Deshaun Watson a fully guaranteed contract worth a small country's GDP, and then looked surprised when that didn't magically fix everything. And now you're shocked Shedeur might actually want to play in a city where the sun comes out more than twice a year? Spare me. But here's the kicker, pun intended, $90 million isn't even that wild by today's quarterback market. In fact, it's starting to look like the bargain bin. The fans, though, oh the fans. Browns fans are out here in denial mode. Some are saying it's just rumors, others are trying to convince themselves that Shedeur loves Cleveland like it's a warm, cuddly place. Guys, he doesn't love Cleveland. Nobody loves Cleveland except for people born there, and even half of them move to Florida the first chance they get. The rest are clinging to hope with tweets like, he's part of the dog pound, he wouldn't leave us. Buddy, 90 million reasons say otherwise.
So Adam Schefter reports, the Ravens plan to take Shedeur Sanders in the 5th round, but before Baltimore could turn in the card, the former Colorado star let it be known that he didn't want to be on a roster with Lamar Jackson, where he will be a backup. Another story from another anonymous source, man. What's going on? From Shedeur's perspective, right, obviously a lot of people thought he was a first-round pick. He slipped in the draft, went to the 5th round, but he had the mindset that he was going to come in there and compete for a starting job. And he knew going to Baltimore, he pretty much had no chance, right? Lamar Jackson is 28 years old in the prime of his career, 2-time MVP. I know some may argue Lamar Jackson's play style makes him age in years because most guys who play like that, dual-threat guys, don't really play past 30, but...
Now, imagine the absolute meltdown if Shedeur did leave. Cleveland would have to spin it like it was their idea all along. We're moving in a new direction. Translation. He dumped us, but we're going to act like we dumped him. Then they'd probably draft another quarterback, hype him up as the future, and repeat this exact same story 3 years later. The cycle is as predictable as a Browns fourth-quarter collapse. You think Deion's gonna let his son rot in Cleveland when Miami or Dallas is dangling checks and palm trees? Not a chance. If Cleveland wants to keep Shedeur, they don't just have to pay him, they've got to convince Deion this franchise isn't a career graveyard. Good luck with that. And yet, there's a certain beauty in watching Cleveland scramble. It's like reality TV but with shoulder pads. They're in full crisis management mode, probably holding meetings at 2 a.m., writing vision statements on whiteboards, and trying to figure out how to turn Lake Erie into a beachfront paradise. Because nothing screams desperation like a team realizing the only reason people show up to their games might be packing his bags.
Owner originally was saying, had some comments about Shedeur Sanders. They were not the most nicest thing, and we'll say allegedly. But now they're saying after this season, preseason game, the owner is saying he wants Shedeur Sanders to stay. And so now you have Coach Stefanski, basically, you know, he got his boy Dylan, and he wants Dylan to be, you know, the future of that team. But the problem is that you have the owner now saying after the preseason game that he wants Shedeur. And so behind closed doors, what they're saying allegedly is that Stefanski is trying to get Shedeur traded. That's why this alleged injury is coming up and things like that. They're trying to do everything in their power to justify why they would get rid of Shedeur.
But here's where it really gets ridiculous. The Browns keep talking about building for the future. Future? Cleveland has been building for the future since dial-up internet. Every year it's the same promise, just wait, next year's our year. At this point, it's less of a rebuild and more of a long-term science experiment in how much pain fans can endure before switching teams. Shedeur's potential exit is just another chapter in that saga. And let's face it, other teams smell blood in the water. Even Vegas could swoop in. Imagine Shedeur under those neon lights, cashing checks, and rolling dice while Cleveland's stuck trying to explain why their backup looks like a high school substitute teacher. Here's the sad truth, the Browns can throw money, promises, and press releases at this problem, but deep down they know the truth. Cleveland isn't the destination, it's the detour. It's the part of the map players pass through before they get to where they really want to be. And Shedeur Sanders? He's not sticking around for the scenic route. He's chasing legacy, endorsements, sunshine, and, yes, maybe a Super Bowl ring. None of which scream Cleveland.